I waited 5 years to finally be able to play this game. 5 years I waited for a garbage mobile port revival. What a goddamn disappointment. For the sake of viewer retention, boom! Blue Protocol was first announced 5 years ago. My god, I can feel my body atrophy and my bones shatter as we speak. 3 years later, in June of 2023, it was released only in Japan, which pissed me off because I really wanted to play it. For some reason, Amazon Games decided to buy the international distribution rights, and if you didn't know, Jeff Bezos dipped his slimy hands into gaming. Trust me, there's a good reason. All of their games were either some of the worst games ever created or were shockingly good, but Amazon immediately abandoned them for literally no reason. Except for New World, that still exists for some reason. Is it good? I have no idea. Sadly, Amazon never released the global version of Blue Protocol. To this day, we still don't know what exactly happened, but the tragedies don't stop there. On January 18th, 2025, Blue Protocol was shut down. Yep, the game lasted less than 2 years. Constant delays, bugs and glitches, lack of news and updates, lack of content, the whole shebang. And then, out of the ether rose a glorious, radiant, ugly as all sin reboot. Tencent bought the IP and decided to make a mobile spin-off that you could also play on PC. And that right there should tell you everything you need to know. Star Resonance is essentially a mobile spin-off slash reboot of the original Blue Protocol, and it shows. Lack of polish everywhere, combat is massively simplified, everything is time-gated, and of course, the main focus is the shop. Paid cosmetics, gacha systems, a monthly subscription, the usual free-to-play stuff. Something that happened over and over and over around Rover again that really annoyed me was during cutscenes. Voice lines would cut themselves off. I am not pressing any buttons. I swear on my first pet's long since forgotten soul, in case you're curious, he was a hamster called Max and he kind of just died one day. I literally don't know why. Like, it was late at night, he was alive, I gave him some food and a little bit of water, I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning and he was just dead. I don't know, bro, hamsters are weird. Like, have you ever heard those stories where hamsters just like spontaneously blow up? Luckily that didn't happen to me, but hamsters are crazy. The game just does this, and it happens a lot. Speaking of cutscenes, the animations are hilariously, atrociously bad. Characters move like they have a stick up their ass, or maybe it's my massive dick. Look at their mouths. Bro, what is this? Like, this looks so bad. What year is it? 1997? Is Blue Protocol actually a revival of an obscure PS1 game? Either the developers did not give a rat's ass, or they did not have enough time to make nice looking animations, and honestly, I'm not sure which one is worse.
Hello?
The game in general feels low effort. I'm not sure if you will be able to tell what I'm talking about through video, but the walking in this game is bizarre. It feels super sluggish. Based on the animation, I should be running around at the speed of sound, but instead, I'm slowly walking through molasses. My conspiracy theory is that the reason walking is so sluggish is in order to force people to use mounts, which are fast. Because everybody's using mounts, people are showcasing their fancy shop paid mounts, and the more you see the fancy mounts, the more likely you are to be manipulated into buying a fancy mount of your own, like the unicorn for example. Speaking of the shop, this is 100% the only reason Tencent revived the game. There's so much stuff. This game has so many different cosmetics and currencies, it's nuts. Two nuts. Two giant juicy round nuts, just like mine. I'm sorry, that's not funny. The truth is never funny. Hehehe. First, we have rosebuds, and there's two different versions. Most of the high quality, quote unquote, cosmetics can only be obtained with the premium rosebuds, which can only be obtained using real money. And of course, there are multiple packs from as low as $1 to as high as $100. Then we have the quote-unquote free Rosebuds, which can be obtained by playing events, opening treasure chests, playing the story, achievements, essentially just playing the game. Free Rosebuds are mainly used for buying various materials in the shop, but there are some cosmetics. For example, one of my favorite outfits was gotten with free roses, which is nice. I'm glad that there are some free options, but honestly, I'm not sure how often the game is gonna get new quote-unquote free stuff. Hopefully they do consistently release a couple of free options, but honestly, I'm not holding my breath. But the majority of cosmetics are locked behind the premium roses. For some reason, there's also a monthly membership for $5, which gives you 100 free roses every day as well as various other benefits. And lest I forget the gacha system. You can use premium roses in order to pull on the gacha in order to potentially get this really ugly swimsuit or this big fish mount currently. Now, obviously, every now and then they're going to release a new cosmetic gacha with a new skin and new mounts and potentially other stuff. But for right now, you can only get this swimsuit. And yeah, this is... There's also these tickets. I have no idea what they do or how to get them. Same goes for these metal things. I genuinely could not figure it out. I went through all of the menus, I pressed a bunch of buttons to try and see how much these things cost or how you get them, and genuinely, I could not figure it out. I don't know how to get the tickets or the medals. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I genuinely could not figure it out. But safe to assume you need to use real money to get them somehow. There are so many currencies that I genuinely do not know what some of them do or even how to get them. Yep, Blue Protocol is one of those games. And listen, I don't have any issues with a game selling cosmetics, especially a free game. I play gacha games, it's fine. They need to make money to keep the lights on somehow. But this is simply too much, bro. There's way too many different currencies. There's a gacha system, but then you can also buy some directly. But then some of them are free, but who knows how often they're gonna release free stuff. There's a paid membership, like it's just too much. And mind you, this is the release of the game. Who knows how many new currencies and new ways to buy cosmetics and potentially even power, since who knows, I wouldn't be surprised if they give you a way to directly buy power by buying like powerful equipment or something like that. Currently, you can't do that. You can't buy power, but I won't be surprised if that does happen in the future. A lot of MMOs do that, so yeah, who knows, man. This is especially too much when the game itself just isn't that good. But before I rip this game a new asshole, I want to compliment it at least once. Character creation is decent, nothing mind-blowing, but you can make a fairly unique look. There's a bunch of presets which help show the variety on offer. A good amount of hair, eye, and color options. The face has 3 different builds. One of them is clearly better than the other, but the specific features can be customized as well. In terms of body, you can change the height and some of the body proportions, which is great. Massive titties! The one odd thing is that there is no butt slider. The only reason I point that out is because you can change the thigh, hips, titties, and calves. The calves, let me repeat that, the calves, but not the butt. Feels like an odd omission. Anyways, here's my character. I usually give my female characters some sort of bob cut because I just really like the hairstyle, but all of these options suck. I tried so hard to make a good looking bob or just like shoulder length hairstyle, but I couldn't, bro. It just did not look good. But eventually I found this like messy hair color and I kind of liked it, so yeah, there we go. I'm pretty proud with what I created. I think she looks nice. And in case you're wondering, no, she does not have a name. I just called her Vladimir, which is my YouTube name. Actually, it's my middle name. In case you were wondering, Vladimir is like the English pronunciation, but the actual like Salvadorian pronunciation is Vladimir. So yeah, fun fact, I guess. Combat. It's okay, I guess. It's not necessarily bad, but it is very basic. A basic attack, 4 skills, 1 ultimate. Eventually you get access to a 5th skill once you hit level 30, I believe. You also have a special summon skill. They have different elements and different effects, but function essentially as a 6th skill. The main problem I have is that there isn't a lot of room for variety. Besides the skill you start with, you can unlock 5 other ones. However, in reality it's actually 2. Every class has 2 builds. For example, the Frost Mage has a build that focuses on spamming the Ice Meteors. The other build focuses on this Ice Beam skill. 2 of the unlockable skills are for one build, the remaining skills are for the other build. But here's the twist. The original Blue Protocol had a deeper combat system. Sort of. It had a wider variety of skills to equip and experiment with. For example, the Frost Mage was actually just a general mage class, having access to different elemental skills, fire being the most powerful one. For some reason, the developers decided to remove almost all of the skills, highly restricting the player in the process. Because of this, combat becomes extremely repetitive, extremely fast. It can be fun in a mindless just press the buttons and watch the pretty visuals way, but if you want to have an engaging combat system, Blue Protocol will not provide that. However, I will say this. The original Blue Protocol did have a problem where every class had a very obvious, these are the best skills, this is the best build. But if they wanted to try and fix that problem, the solution is not to remove almost all of the skills and hyper focus on 2 hyper specific builds. The solution would be to make the other skills better. For example, like I said, in the original Blue Protocol, the fire skills were the best ones. But if you wanted to fix that, why didn't you just keep the fire skills the same and then buff the ice skills and all of the other skills and do that for every class? Just keep the powerful skills the same and then make the other skills, which were worse, better. That's what they should have done, not remove a bunch of skills and highly restricting the player. The one compliment I'll give the combat is the fact that you can unlock all of the different classes. You don't have to create a brand new character in order to play as one of the other classes. All you have to do is buy this crystal in the shop with the free rosebuds and then complete the corresponding class quest to unlock it. Also, I love Beatbreaker. A healer DPS hybrid that uses a guitar is sick as fuck. My character is basically a dope rocker chick. The idea is awesome, which is why the limitations are so disappointing. I would love it if they had more skills to experiment with and find my own playstyle. There's so much potential with a class like Beatbreaker, but because of the fact that they massively simplified combat, there just isn't really that much to do with the class. In terms of content, there isn't anything to write home about. Story missions are the typical MMO stuff, a bunch of cutscenes, barfing exposition at the player, and every now and then, a short, easy combat sequence. There are dungeons, and they're kind of boring. For example, in this one, you just walk from point A to point B and fight some enemies to open a door. Do that a couple of times and eventually fight a boss. Boring! Every hour on the dot, a boss will spawn in the open world and they can be fun to fight with randoms or guild members, but again, it's just basic MMO stuff. The reason I point this out is because Blue Protocol does not provide anything that other older MMOs aren't already doing and doing better. For example, life skills, botany, alchemy, blacksmith. There are various life skills you can use and they are all boring. Mostly because almost the entire class is locked behind your life skill level and it takes forever to level up. Picking up a flower gives you 3 EXP and you need 2,000 in order to level up from level 1 to level 2. What? Obviously, this is something you're supposed to do over the course of months, if not years of playing. Doesn't make it any less interesting. And of course, this game only has the most creative, amazing, never before seen quests, like killing 20 goblins, or go to a place and get a thing, or talk to a person. Riveting. Granted, this is just a general MMO problem and not necessarily a Blue Protocol problem, but the quest design certainly isn't helping the game. And then there's the dance circle. Yup, every day at certain times of the day, a special dance event will happen. Go to the specific location and use your dance emote. A special bar will slowly fill over time and you get rewards. What the hell is this, bro? Look, I get it. This is supposed to be a fun community event, but this is way too forced. Dance circles are fun because they are a natural community thing that happens. One day you're at a gathering spot when suddenly someone starts dancing. Then another random person starts dancing, and then another, and another, and another, and eventually clothes start flying off. A 50-year-old man pretending to be a teen girl is only wearing his panties and bras and starts grinding on the other 50-year-old man pretending to be a super edgy dark knight. And eventually everyone is dancing in a beautiful orgy. It's great. But what makes it great is that it happens naturally. This is forced and dumb. Especially because it gives you rewards. I'm like, bro, people are gonna min-max the hell out of this. This is not a fun community event. This is just a thing that people are gonna do in order to get rewards. In my opinion, trying to force fun community moments shows a lack of faith in the game itself. The goal should be to provide a wide variety of fun, well-made content, and the players will naturally create a sense of community with fun inside jokes, dance circles, guilds, dungeon parties, the whole shebang. And yes, developers can definitely lean into it. They definitely can and should participate with the community. But there's a limit, bro. Like, you made a dance circle event and it happens multiple times in a day? Like, bro, what? It's very clear that Tencent is desperate to create a community that will continuously spend money in the shop, whether it be for the premium rosebuds or the monthly thingy or the gacha or whatever. Speaking of guilds, I got kicked from mine. Literally no idea why. I joined one, hung out with some people, went to sleep. The next day I logged in and I got kicked. What the fuck, bro? What happened? What did I do? I didn't do anything. The worst part of this game is the time gates. Everything is time gated. Want to continue the main story? Guess what, idiot? You gotta wait 4 hours. Want to do a guild activity? Come back in 2 days. Want to refine your equipment? Guess what, you brain dead piece of subhuman scum? Come back in 1 week. What the fuck? All this does is piss me off. And I know the argument. Oh, well, the time gates are there so that you don't run out of content. Shut up! 1 week in order to unlock equipment refinement. Let me repeat that. 1 week in order to unlock equipment refinement. Are you out of your fucking mind? The more I talk about this game, the more confused I become. Why did Tencent buy the IP and revive Blue Protocol if they weren't going to fix it? Remember, the original version shut down in January of this year. This revival came out less than 9 months later. Instead of fixing the game, all they did was expand on the real money shop, added a bunch of time gates, made combat worse, created a mobile port, which is actually probably the main focus, and called it a day. Because remember, mobile gaming is massive in the Eastern gaming market, which is 100% the main gaming market that Tencent is aiming for, and called it a day. Blue Protocol can definitely be fun if you play with friends, but does that make it a good game? Hell no! Literally anything can be fun if you do it with friends. Watching a bird eat its own shit can be fun if you're with your best buddy. If you wanted to just have a fun time hanging out with friends, why play this when you could play literally anything else? For example, Paladins! Oh wait, that got abandoned. Never mind. And before anybody says, trust me bro, it gets better after 100 hours, then guess what? The game is not good. If I have to invest that much time into a game before I can finally start to truly enjoy it, something has gone horribly wrong. A good MMO should be fun from the beginning. The journey of slowly progressing the story, building your character, and playing the various game modes should be as equally enjoyable as the endgame grind you get to after 100 hours of playing. I waited 5 years to finally be able to play this game. 5 years I waited for a garbage mobile port revival. What a goddamn disappointment. The more I talk about Blue Protocol, the sadder I become. So let's end it here. Feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to more directly support me, become a channel member by clicking the join button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.